pretty crampy. Technology sure is inconsistent today. Here. Oh Lord, stuck in Lodi again. I've been to Lodi. The Greyhound bus used to go through there. It was near like Gerber and stuff like that, if I remember right. That's where we saw a guy get left. Because the bus driver said, "We're leaving at 5 minutes till."
And he left.
And the guy wasn't paying attention to the time, and so he was a Hispanic man, and he got left behind, and his wife and baby were on the bus. So I could imagine how he felt coming out, and his family's gone. Right? But you got to keep that schedule, except if it was the bus driver in the bathroom, it would have been okay. But not a paying customer. Yeah. World's not a freaking real friendly, warm place. People keep acting like it is, and it's getting more and more unfriendly. I tell you that right now. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Full moon in Aries today. I guess it'd be Pisces if it's sidereal Vedic astrology, Eastern astrology. I got, my sun is in Aries, and I don't know, depending on what data I put into different astrological calculators, comes up with different stuff. Some stuff it says I got Aries and Chiron in my 10th house. Some places it says I got it in my 11th. You know, the degrees are all different. That's why I'm just like, I think it's so funny when all these astrologers, you know, they have their classes. I have a new class and instruction. Learn how to do what I do. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's funny because you'll learn how to do what they do. But there's all these different ways to learn how to, there's just, you know, and I don't got time to freaking sit there and look at the planets and see which way life is going to go. I'm too busy trying to navigate through life. I do use it for potentials and energy though. And there's a, you know, there's certain configurations that I find that impact me more than others. Like when things are in like Scorpio, there's a lot of Scorpio energy. I got Scorpio moon, so I reflect that energy. And Cancer rising. My sun's in Aries, so these are all just prominent energies that are activate things in me. And I look at emotions as frequency. You know, you listen to those low emotions, it gets you down. You listen to those high emotions, it get, you know, those higher frequencies that get you up. I like to prefer to keep things even keel though. So, are people getting how everything's a club yet? I wonder if they're starting to figure out that censorship has always been prevalent, and it's just getting more and more rampant. I was a part of a group called Taos Rentals, not Airbnb, and it had one rule. It says no promotions or spam or selling of anything. Self-promotion, spam, and irrelevant links aren't allowed. If you attempt to do any of that, I will block access as I see fit. Then I may remove you from the group if you do it again. And that was the only rule. And this person posted this ad this morning, this jackal named Matt Quick. Yeah, Matt Quick. I don't think he's real quick. I think he's kind of slow. So check this out. Anyone looking for a long-term 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in El Prado? Anyone looking for that? It's like, it's north on the way to Cuesta, I think. No, it's not that. But I mean, just listen. Doesn't matter where it's at. All right. Must be willing to share the home when we, the family of 3, visit from Texas. We'd use the 2 smaller rooms and visit mostly during school breaks. Otherwise, you'd have peace and quiet for 80% of the time. So, 4/5 of the time. 1/5 of the time, you'd have to share the residence with the people that you're paying the mortgage for. So you're paying for, right? No smoking and no pets. I realize that reduces the number of the tenants, but I heard his daughter has allergies. So I wrote, the comment that I wrote on it was something to the effect of, I wish I would have got a screenshot of it, because this other woman engaged. And then it was like fun banter, right? Because it was like, I said, so not only do we pay for the said Texans' mortgage, well, the motivation is to live with the said Texan also? I said, this is new. This is a new kind of level. I said, I'm doing life wrong, man. How do I get somebody else to completely flip the bill for my life? How do I do that? Oh, I don't have the expectation that somebody else should pay for my life and be responsible for how I live. Oh, okay. All right. So I got blocked. So the admin, some dumb broad named Kristen something or other, she blocked my comments. So I can't make comments anymore. Yeah, and I didn't even break the rule. She just didn't like what I had to say. And I wonder if the other girl that was commenting, she's like, I don't know which is worse. This or the house up in TP that they want, not the house, the bus. It's a school bus. It's a crappy old fucking school bus that somebody fucking pulled the seats out of, threw the freaking mattress on the floor, and they think it's a good idea to charge somebody $1,200 a month to live in it.
Oh my God.
Right. So she was like, I don't know which is worse. And I'm like, fucking, she probably got blocked too, because you can be a D-bag and ask for whatever you want. But if you comment on somebody that's a D-bag, then you're an asshole.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
The deck is stacked, man. The deck is stacked. It's for sure stacked. So, they're just, it's unbelievable. It's like their parents, like, this is the product of what your parents created. Your mom should have swallowed. Really. I mean, this is not, we're supposed to be custodians of the earth. We're supposed to take care of people that are less fortunate. And then when we have fortune, we're supposed to share that. And when we have knowledge, we're supposed to share that. And then, somebody has knowledge, they share with us and teach us something. It's all supposed to be about cooperation. Everything's supposed to be about, cooperation. That's nature's way. But these people that don't have viable skills created systems where that they can be successful and be in positions in life without really doing much of anything. I mean, it was so great. I was with my buddy Augustine this morning. I went and treated myself to a cup of coffee, and I'll never go back to the coffee shop World Cup again. Why? Because I was going to get a medium coffee, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to a large. And I said, my name's Marge. I'd like a large. And she said, tell him Marge, large Marge. Yeah. And see, because I was really heavy when I was younger. And Pee Wee Herman fucking ruined my life because it came out when I was in high school. So every fucking dipshit that with the freaking, the mentality of a mental mini.
That's mean.
A mental mini Eminem. That's how big their mentality is. Would find out my name is Marge, and then it was all about Marge. They're just people are freaking parrots, man. They're just parrots, and you put stupid stuff in front of them, and they just regurgitate the same stupid stuff they see and hear. And so this woman behind the counter called me Large Marge, and I said, not so large Marge.
Oh, man.
And I'm just like, why would you call a customer that came in here to give you $6 for a mediocre cup of coffee at best?
Yeah.
At best. And insult them.
That's mean.
Because what? Large Marge is an endearing term? Should I have taken it as, oh, you're just, are you flirting with me? You know, I mean, come on.
That's mean.
People just don't think. They don't think anymore. And so I won't go back there. And it was like, I wanted a peppermint, and she made me like a mint mocha with white chocolate, and that is not at all what I asked for. So you got me that time. You got my money that time, but I will not go back. See, I'm fine with getting decaffeinated Folgers and making frickin' hot press coffee. I don't need all that stuff, and quite frankly, the milk and the frickin' creamery just jacks me all up anyway. It's all freaking synthetic crap, and it makes me mucusy, so I can do without it anyway. So anyway, went and saw my buddy Augustine. He was at the park today, and I picked him up in Kai, and then we hung out. We were having a safety meeting right, bunch of homies, and it was like 9:30 this morning. And there are these dudes that were hanging out, you know, and one of them is like, anybody got a bottle yet? And I was like, man, it's like 9:30 in the morning, dude, you know. But that's the thing, is people get to a point, and unless you go through it and experience, you really don't understand it. And so when I talk and I tell people about, you know, what alcohol, the places that alcohol takes people, you know, a lot of people, I mean, like where we live, everybody around here drinks. Kai, the guy that we're hanging out with this morning and I dropped off, he lives next to a little creek. It's rad. Reminds me of Oregon, where we lived in Oregon. Yeah, and yeah, it's really quite tranquil and sweet. So I'd never been to his house, and I dropped him off, and he was just like showing me the stream and stuff. And he was telling me, because he works at the travel center, and the travel center is like the gas station for the Pueblo, right? And then it's like right down the road from the casino, because that's how they got appeased. I mean, they could have all this land around here, but they just swapped all that for freaking casinos and a travel lodge.
Wow.
So that's what it seems like, man. People really sold out. It's like their soul, you know, tells them, you know, community, camaraderie, taking care of everyone, all this stuff. But then their ego drives them to this place that there is no place for spirit. And so he was telling me every morning, because he works at that place, and when he works in the mornings, there's people just biting at the bit. They're just 5 minutes to 7 with their, just come on, man, it's only 5 minutes. Just let me buy this bottle of booze now. You know, it's only 5 minutes. Yeah, count to 300, then you can get your bottle of spirits. I mean, people, they're just, because they need it. They get to a point that alcohol, the alcohol replaces the oxygen in their blood. So they constantly have to maintain a level of alcohol in their blood to function. And if they don't, there are clear and prominent signs that they need that alcohol to balance them out. Because they got too much, they're getting too much oxygen back in their blood, and that's the spirit. Because that is the difference between being a live version of a human being and a death mofo, is our breath, is our oxygen. And when people replace that with spirits, you never know how they're going to act, because you never know what kind of spirit they are consuming. They are letting in to their energy field. You know, how many people freaking like caused catastrophic results in other human beings' lives, and their excuse is, I was drunk. Okay, well, if that's how you act when you are drunk, and that is how you behave, then now that you know when you drink, that's how you act. You're never going to drink again, right? Because you don't want to risk ever acting like that again, right? But people take that risk every day. They take the risk every single day. And that's fine. They can take the risk. People are allowed to live. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. People can live however they want. There are consequences to every for every action there's an opposite reaction, opposite action. I can't remember what that was, but you hit somebody. Where I come from, you're gonna probably get hit back, right? But you grow up, and what you should really be learning is you just keep your hands to yourself, right? And things are just getting real fiery. There's just all this. I call it life force, Kundalini life force energy. Like when you get all excited about stuff, that amped feeling, that, psychologists call it mania, I think, or being manic, right? And that people shouldn't feel exhilarated like that because the crash is going to come, right? All right? But I don't think that's any different than the low people feeling depressed and low all the time. I think it's just as detrimental. That's why I always understood that balance was so important, to trying to keep things even keel. So, homeboy was telling me about that, about, every morning he works that 7 o'clock shift, that people are just begging for him to buy it. And he's like, dude, there's a time stamp, it's against the law to sell out. And it was like that when I worked in, I worked at Shell gas station on Folsom Boulevard in Sacramento. And, when I lived down off of Tuolumne Lane, no, not was that where I lived? Anyway, and it was like that. It was all hours of the day. And I'll go into the gas station here, and it'll be like 9 in the morning, 9:30, and people will be buying their pints and their Long Island iced tea to get them through the day, and it's just, they think people don't know. They think people don't suspect, that they can't tell that they're freaking wasted, And I used to have that mentality. I used to think that, because I used to be that person that would wake up still drunk from the night before. That's how I know how people act, because I used to do it. But as we get older, we're supposed to live like a douche less. We're supposed to live less like a D-bag. And I used to wake up still drunk from the night before, and I would just continue my buzz by just starting to drink at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then when I got sober, things happened in my immediate peripheral that affirm the decisions that I've made, that I stopped doing that because it's better for me and everyone around me, based on things that happen. And so one of the things that happened was when I worked at the radiology department at Creighton University. We had a resident, Adam was his name. This is back in like 2009. Yeah, 2009, 2010. And everybody liked the kid, He was that guy. It's always that guy. Driving his sons to the first day of school, 8 o'clock in the morning, right? Dude freaking coming the opposite way. Comes opposite way. Freaking reaching for his bottle of vodka off the ground. Hits the curb, flips, crashes into Adam. Kills him. Kills Adam, guy I worked with. And freaking his sons are a mess. Their dad's in the front, dead. And the sons are still alive, And how they had to just sit there in that condition until the emergency personnel came. And this is the part that was a kicker, is because the hospital I worked at was one of two. Methodist, I believe, was the other level 1 trauma center. But CUMC was a teaching hospital. Creighton, where I worked, was a level 1 trauma center. So they brought the guy that just killed one of their radiology residents to the hospital where, and the other place was closer, but I think it was, they traded off and it was like our week or something like that. So, needless to say, that when they brought him in, like the Dr. Phelan, he's long since retired. He freaking went in and chewed him out. Like you should have died and all this stuff, right? You know, just like, I mean, totally freaking unprofessional, you know, but no consequence ever came of it because the guy was like 72 years old and he's been doing what he wanted, the department, the whole time. And, you know, and that's the thing is like certain people can just do whatever they want in life and other people have to follow rules. And I always wanted to figure out how to get on the side where you could just do what you wanted in life. But I wouldn't take it to the extreme like these other people do. I mean, what people need to tell themselves that they're a good person by having lots of things, properties, logo, brands, all that stuff. I never lived in a world where any of that made sense to me. And I just look at people and I'm just like, that's the substance of you. And all of these things, they're just, it's just all puff. It's just all stuff that I just see that just puff, like this laptop puff, just all stuff. It just all goes away at some point. It's all landfill. We all go away. You know, you think people treat each other better on this planet. It just doesn't really work out that way. So anyway, me and Augie took a little ride this morning out towards the gorge. I was looking for mobile home parks and storage unit places. And he said, we were talking about something, and he had said, that's a lazy man's tool. And I started thinking about all the stuff that is a lazy man's tool. And that's the thing is, because I'm not lazy. I need time to recharge my batteries, and so I can press on. But I got a lot of energy. I got a lot of get up and go, right? Even though I got to recharge my batteries from time to time. And I look around and I look at all of these systems and all of these functions that are just based on things that people just really could live without. But all these systems and ideologies, and they're all driven to frickin' give people certain measure of clout in their mind. And it's just all nonsense. It's all silly stuff. You know? And then you have people with practical knowledge. Practical knowledge. So now I can, so I left that group, that Taos group, the Airbnb place, because I'm just like, what a dumb bitch. You know, the admin, I didn't break the rule. It didn't say anything about anything that I said. I wasn't rude to the person. I'm just like, that is new. That is new to me, that people have figured out how to frickin' get other people to flip the bill for their lives. And that doesn't take care of anybody else but themselves. That's pretty selfish, really, you know. Well, when you live on a world where mostly people care about living externally, all the outward worldly stuff, that's not what's going to create heaven on earth. It's all inside stuff. I was talking to my buddy today. I say, you know, I understand how I got a pretty good conception of how things work, I think. And so what I'm trying to do is just really be vigilant of where my selfishness is. Like whenever I make a decision, you know, why am I doing this? You know, what's my driving force? Is it for everybody's best interest or just mine? And if I can live from a place from my heart, which I am very good at, my brother, he has even made fun of me about that. well, you've always listened to your heart over your head. And now this is what, now look at where your life is. I'm like, dude, I should be commended as hard as I've worked to make good to my promise to keep mom out of a home. See, people don't get, there aren't systems, there aren't government agencies, there's nobody on the other side of a phone or on an email that is in any kind of position that is going to do anything to help me take care of my mother. But think about all the fucking resources on the planet that exist to help you take care, or somebody, and not you, but in all these people that freaking, do the fucking chuck, have kids, and then there's all these resources to take care of these kids, but it's not, it doesn't. They don't care about elders. They want to kill off all. They just want people to freaking live who they like, and everybody else can die as far as they're concerned. Another motivating fact why I will never go back to that coffee shop. There's this old white dude gets in my face like, ooh, just like completely programmed, completely in life. Has his clipboard. Have you registered to vote? I said, nah. That left and right, they both suck ball sack. He's like, what? I said, yeah, they both suck ball sack. It's a circle of greed. Left and right, ball sack. Moloch, BAAL, ball sack. They all suck it. You guys love those human sacrifices too, but it's your right to choose. It is so insane to me. This is the same place that has all these places where I live. They just stopped mandatory this all over. We were one of the last places, right? With the face diapers and stuff like that. Because everybody just milked it. It's all about control. It's all about control. So people make me wear a stupid mask for the last 2 years. And then all of a sudden with Roe versus Wade, it's your body, your choice. But where was my body, my choice when I didn't care about your freaking 99.6% recovery rate bullshit? It's like people want you to be like them, and I just won't ever be, because I can't dumb down as much as society has. I can't. I can't. It's impossible. I can't even act like I'm dumb enough to go along with the whole political system anymore, or not recognizing that these puppets in Hollywood and on TV and stuff. Dude, why am I going to listen to a person that gets paid so much to say somebody else's words? And I recognize how these people, they're just franchises. People have become franchises, Ma. Yeah, they become franchises. And what did I do? Let's see. Franchise. I did this the other day. Yeah, I'm looking. Okay. A franchise. An authorization granted by a government or a company. Well, in AmeriCorp, we're one and the same now. To an individual or group, enabling them to carry out specific commercial activities, e.g., providing a broadcasting service or acting as an agent for a company's project. It doesn't mean what they say is true. They're just paid agents. It says it right there, franchise. As defined, definitions from Oxford Languages. So how many people just get paid to do what they're told, but what they're told and what they're trying to get people to do is not in what people's best interests are? I'm really over the whole gimmicky stuff of what this country has become. Gimmicky, markety, it's all lies. All right? And now we got all that Columbus Day bullshit. Well, my ancestors are not acknowledging that at all. See, people looked into who they are and where they come from. It kind of makes it harder to be ignorant and just allow and perpetuate the same storylines that have just been thrown in our face and shoved down our throats just because some group someplace deemed that is how that so be it, because some lizards or humans or whoever on this planet got some grandy gross ideas and just decided that we're just gonna make them our alien ant farm, and we'll make them drive the whole growth system, and they'll do it, and they'll be happy that they'll do it, because human beings with thumbs, as long as you entertain them and give them shiny things to look at, they're very easily distracted, and they will forget all about the fact that they are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we'll just keep them in the loop, yeah. I mean, people can try and cover up how things are, and I believe in an all things possible multi-universe, right? But there are versions of truth, and they have been covered up forever with versions of lies, and the balance is shifting back. The balance is coming back, because the cheaters have won for too long. Oh, is that little baby kitten in your seat? Little baby kitten. Little baby kitten. Oh my goodness, it doesn't make me up. Oh, this sweet baby. Oh, that's a baby. This is the little baby. You kept me up all night, huh? You did. You're so cute. Stanley didn't even want the chair. That's all right, buddy. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. I just have a cat. So things are quickly evolving. Oh my gosh. So it was nice to get out though, just for a little while. I told him, I said I'm kind of on a fun break right now. I'm not having too much fun. I said I am gonna this week call a couple of storage unit places and see about getting proactive, and all this extra stuff, just pack it up and put it away until we find a place to live. And then I can just move Mom to the location and then move the stuff from the storage unit. Yeah, I think that'd be good. So anyway, all the while I was trying to explain to Augustine this morning, I said, when I was little, I used to throw fits, tantrums. I would act out, and then people would just like, fine, just let her have her way. Right? And then it got to the point where that didn't work anymore, and then I just got ignored. Right? So people started ignoring me. And then I didn't understand how I could get my needs met. Because when I asked for things that I wanted, people would tell me no, and how selfish I was, and blah 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 blah. It just was hard. But this is just a story like so many other people. And I was telling him, I said, what I'm trying to learn to do, might ain't right, and I'm trying to learn how to express myself, to convey myself clearly. But even when I do that, people look at me like they don't, like, am I speaking Spanish and they're they don't understand. It is so weird how often I engage with people in the world and they look through me. And then it occurred to me some years back, that's because we're not the same frequency. They're not going to understand me. Everything out of my mouth is blah, 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 because, maybe they're a much higher spiritual being than I am. Or maybe they're lower, but for whatever reason, we ain't going to see each other eye to eye. So the guy with his clipboard this morning, after I said that to him, he stops and turns to his companion. He said, I've gotten all sorts of very weird answers to that question. And I was just like, dude, because it ain't that world anymore, man. They call the governor here. There's so many people. It's the common story. I don't know what people are seeing in the media, but the governor of New Mexico is known for groping dudes and grabbing them in their crotch without permission. You know, and Epstein had a ranch here. They love their perverts here. They love their human trafficking in New Mexico. They like their abortion. You know, all that stuff, that all the storylines that I know about that support the evidence of why both sides are a circle agreed. The whole system needs to come down. You know, and that's what's going to happen in some way or another. Things are going to crumble all the way down. Chaos will ensue, and then we'll build from the rubble again, because freaking human beings or inhabitants of this planet can't seem to create a civilization where everybody benefits. It's always been this hierarchical bullshit where somebody thinks that they're at the top and other people and they think that other people are beneath them, and that's just not how it is. And so things have to change accordingly. So ready, set, change. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad day.